right, hello everybody. How we doing? Man, it feels good to have some friends, to talk to some people. I'm probably gonna start another channel that's just my face out there because I don't want to make thumbnails every time, but I want to say things probably more than once a day. So the people who want to follow me, they can follow me there. I'll get that set up shortly. But just looking through all the comments and everything was just, I mean, overwhelmed with just gratefulness. And I would just want to thank everybody who said anything. Everything was nice and positive and loving, and I'm glad I've helped inspire some people. And just the prayers for my daughter, I just want to thank you. I was moved. I thought a lot of the views were going to come from, I guess, the United States. But I got a Columbus, Ohio, and I got a Chicago, Illinois. So, um, there's a lot of people from other countries, and I love that. We got people from South Germany. I got Georgia, not the country, not the state, the country. I got Cyprus. I got Denmark. I got Canada, Belgium, and Spain. And I know there's people that have said what's up in different videos, and they're from other countries. So I just want to say thanks. I want to say thanks. And I sit there at night and we watch a little bit of TV, and lately my mind's kind of just been distracted with getting back into this. But we were watching like Candace Owens and The Turning Point and Charlie Kirk, and it's just like there's so much to distract you, from like sports to politics to Trump. And I mean, that's just the United States and the Epstein files. And then we got, Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Palestine and Israel. We got China. We got the tariffs. We got AI concerns. We have the smart city starting in the UK. I mean, everywhere you turn, there's distraction. There's fear. I mean, so you can go down all these rabbit holes. I don't want you guys to consume the stuff that's going to scare you, or to mess you up and mess up your thinking, because I want you to be concentrating on yourself. And I'm just going kind of through these distractions because after all those distractions, if you get caught up in any of that fear, well, then you can go down the whole road of, you got the red 40 and the yellow 5, you got the filler chemicals, you got the chemtrails, you got the weather modification, you got the fluoride in the water. I mean, every avenue you look at is poisoned, essentially, telling us that, I mean, the plastics are causing the Alzheimer's, the heavy metals are messing up our system, our pineal gland is completely shut, and you can even get distracted with, all the projects. Go look at all the projects of the government, right? You got Project Paperclip, Project Bluebeam, Project Looking Glass, Project Fishbowl. I mean, it goes on and on, the stuff that they have just pumped money into. Then, you know, uh, and then you're like, well, who's in charge? And then you go to the Rockefellers, then you go to the Rothschilds, then you go to J.P. Morgan and Carnegie, all the huge names from over the years, and names that we don't even know. But they control some. And then we got BlackRock, we got Vanguard, we got State Street. They have their hand in every category of our lives. So it doesn't matter if you shop at Target or if you shop at Walmart or if you shop at so and so. They're getting paid. And all of these companies that used to be small, like Rao's pasta sauce, used to be family owned and homemade, and now it's bought by Campbell's, completely sold out. We just saw the Campbell's guy talk about 3D printing modification in the soup. So, you know, everything, everything can get you. And then besides the corporations basically crossing all the money, then if you want to go deeper, you got the Illuminati, you got the Freemasons, you got the the Pope, you got the shadow government, you got the aliens possibly working with them underground. I mean, the rabbit hole goes so deep. And part of them wants you to do that. Go get distracted. Go get so mad. Live in fear. Live angry. Live pissed off. But we know something more. We know there's more. This is going to get worse before it gets better. So, in the meantime, try to work on yourself. We want to get in control of ourselves. We don't want whatever is happening out there, because all these people, a lot of you guys that are watching are in different countries. You're not even dealing with the America's problem, but I know that you are dealing with your own set of problems. Every country has its own political problems, its own agenda, its own, you know, all power struggle. It's everybody's struggling in their things. So just don't get distracted with the fear. I mean, you want to keep an ear to the ground, to kind of know what's going on, but don't buy into it. You're just observing, and it might get worse for a second, but eventually these power struggles are going to crumble, and we're going to believe in what Darius is saying is what he saw. So we're going to continue working on ourselves. We're going to continue working on becoming more loving, growing, expanding, helping, loving each other, and trying to get on a path that makes sense for you, and consume less, but don't go crazy. It's like it's really in the mind, because I mean, if you think what you're doing, even though it's socially acceptable, is horrible for you, and it's causing you stress and anxiety, and you shouldn't do it, blah blah blah, well then it's so much worse for you than the person who's just eating that willy-nilly and isn't thinking twice about it. They're a lot better off than you are. So worry is not a good thing. Eat what you want, but try to get on the path of limiting stuff. The best thing you can do for your body is to fast, which means the second best thing you can do for your body is to eat less than we're probably eating. But you don't want to get to a point where you're cranky all day long and you don't feel like you can enjoy anything. So you got to be able to enjoy the good time, indulge in some stuff, but don't overindulge. And then, give yourself a mental break about it and start working on trying to create like a fasting thing where you might have dinner around 6 or 7 and then try not to snack. It's going to be hard, but try not to snack. Go to bed, wake up, and blow right through breakfast. Breakfast doesn't matter. They say it's the most important meal of the day. Bullshit. Breakfast was invented in the early 1900s and to sell more bacon and pigs, and it's all a scam. It's all a scam. So just blow through breakfast and get yourself lunch and dinner and get on that 18-hour fasting window, but don't kill yourself over it. But if you start working towards it, and then there's a guy, Ian Carroll, and I think he also has the other account, cancel this company, cancel this CO for company. And he has gone through all of it. Like every grocery aisle he has marked out of, what's owned by all the 3 main BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, and, shows you the very small windows on every grocery aisle of the people that haven't sold out and are still, homegrown. So, try to support those people. If you ever get to the point where you're like, well, I wouldn't mind changing this and changing this, try to find the family-owned people. And if you are family-owned or know anybody that's family-owned, tell them not to sell out, because that's what they're doing. Everybody who gets any type of big is bought out, and then it's controlled by everybody else, and you don't get, doesn't matter for you. So they make their money either way. But yeah, so I I find it all fascinating. We're being lied to. We're being lied to in our history books. We're being lied to in part of the church. That we're being lied to in Hollywood. We're being lied to in the media. Like, uh, we're being lied to about medicine, everything, and it can be overwhelming if you're starting to realize it on your own and you just start becoming frustrated. But we just need to really relax and stand up for where we can stand up to. Like, if you have an opportunity to fight, whether it's through protest or whether it's through um, calling out a company and emailing them or exposing something, and if you have a place to fight back, that's okay. Fighting for the right reasons is what Darius is encouraging. But being angry at the big corporations and being an asshole to your neighbor, or being frustrated to the person in line that's going through the same stuff you are, there's no point, of being like that. So we really have to, get intentional with how we're going to fight. But I think we're still waiting for more people to start to wake up. And I think this is going to start growing, but I really think it needs to be an authentic growth. When I was, trying to blend in and do what society told me to do, and I was participating in the church, they were always like, "Tell somebody about Jesus. Tell somebody about Jesus." I'm like, can't you see that these people don't want anything to do with Jesus? It's like we're pushing them further away. So that's what I want to kind of put out there on my channel, of like, share this and live your best life. And if someone says, "Hey, why are you so much different?" or "Why are you so much more calm?" or "Why do you seem like something's changed?" Be like, there's a guy named Darius J. Wright. His videos have changed my life, and just leave it at that. And if they're like, "Well, send me one of them," you send them one. Your favorite interview, one of my earlier videos but you're not. It's kind of the salesy thing, but it's like, it's once someone says, "Well, what's changed?" and you're like, "Oh my gosh, we live forever, we're gods, well, blah blah blah," and people are like, "Okay, cool, that sounds great," and then they make a judgment, and their judgment that they make is negative because they're not trusting you. They've never seen Darius. His authenticity needs to speak for itself, and then they're kind of turned off. So even if they do come back around at some point, it might take them longer because you're pushing this on them. So, but once you know that what Darius is saying is the truth, and everybody makes it back to the other side, so regardless if your family member thinks this is true or not, you'll be like, "Well, I guess when you die, we'll talk," right? So it doesn't matter. You don't have to push it. You don't have to come to us, come our way, come see what we see. Nah. If it resonates with you and your experiences have led you to listening to him and what he's saying is making sense, then pursue it. Keep going. But if it doesn't, or if someone's opposed to it, like, we can't force this. It really truly has to be an organic. That's how it's going to happen faster. If it becomes a hype if it becomes a meme, if it becomes, you know, something viral and everybody's doing it and like hashtag we're gods, blah blah blah, it's like, well, we're going to lose the point of this. This is not a, we'll celebrate at the end, we'll also celebrate on the other side, but right now we're in an individual process of understanding ourselves and trying to become the better versions of ourselves. And then as we start lifting this consciousness, everything starts to lift up with it. And so it takes discipline. I mean, it really does, because so you've been pretending to be like one, like you've been pretending to be a character that you say is real, and you've been putting out in the real world, but that changes depending on your coworkers, your family, who's around. You change your mask a little bit depending on what environment you're in. But that version of us is fake. But we're learning the real version. So I'm saying you might need to still be that fake version of yourself out there. But while you're being that version that you've created, that everybody knows, that everybody loves, that everybody's excited to hang out with, you know, let's enjoy this. You know, you know this isn't necessarily you, but this is the character that you've kind of built, and you're starting to understand more of your true character. So this character will fade eventually, and you will become your authentic self naturally in all your different walks of life. But sometimes it feels fraudulent. Sometimes you feel like you got one foot in one reality and one foot in the other, and it's really hard to juggle. So you know, you have to give yourself permission to be a little awkward, because it's, you know, because if you just stop talking and going out and being normal in life the way you were before you started to realize that you from the other side, and this, you know, it's going to become lonely unless you have a few people that are on the same wavelength and you guys can talk and you guys can hang out. So yeah, you're going to go out with friends and they're still going to be oblivious, and they're still going to be distracted with their music and their sports and their movies and their gossip and their Instagram. So, but just be grateful, just be appreciative, you know, and just hang out with them, and be authentically there in that moment, and enjoy the fact that you are with these people and you're connected, but you're also aware that you're more connected than they even realize at the moment. And take a gratefulness attitude approach to it, instead of a, gosh, these guys are just completely asleep, they're not seeing anything, this is ridiculous, you know. So change your perspective, show some patience with people. You don't necessarily want to force anybody into this that's not ready, because it's going to take them longer to get there. But also, it's something you're going to want to do, and you're going to have a fight. There's going to be times that you're super disciplined, you're super on top of it, you feel like you're making the right strides, and then there's some days that you're like, ugh, I don't want to adult today. I don't want to do it. And those are the days that you find some music that uplifts you. You turn on Darius. Darius to me has been kind of like going to the gym. I don't want to turn on an interview. I don't want to turn it on in the morning. But if I don't turn it on, I don't start to get my energy. And that's how I get my energy, is by listening to a Darius interview, or Corey, the Soul Surfer 77, and Awaken to Joy. They are another people that I like listening to. So there's people out there that are talking about this, so you can have once you hear people authentically talking about how cool this experience is, then you want to you want to get back into it. But if you start scrolling Facebook and you look at these groups of life after death groups and yada yada yada, and the ignorant comments that people have, I mean, that's part of the reason that kept me, you know, not necessarily in fear, but like at a really low vibration of like frustration with like these people don't understand any of it. And I'm like, bro, most people don't understand any of it. We're ahead of the curve here. You know, we found Darius. We believe in what Darius is saying, and we know what he's saying is accurate. And it's going to take a while for people to not only buy in, but then to transition and transform their selves. So in the process, we want to become better with ourselves. We want to start living at that higher vibration. We want to be, you know, in that joy and love and gratefulness and compassion and empathy level of feeling. And that doesn't just, that's been beaten out of you. So you're not going to wake up feeling those. You're going to be waking up feeling maybe fearful, maybe frustrated, maybe anxious, maybe frustrated. I might have said frustrated twice. Frustrated, you have to get up and go to work, probably frustrated. And it's going to take you time to continually get yourself back to listening to either music, listening to Darius, you know, talking to somebody who uplifts you, whatever, to get you into that higher state of vibration. And the more you learn to live in that higher state of vibration, the more things that you want to come into your life to help you will magnetically start to come into your life to help you. But it is going to take some time. Some days you're going to wake up and you're not going to turn on that video. You're not going to listen to a word Darius has to say. You're going to be cranky with people and a sourpuss. But you know what? Hopefully the sun comes up the next day. Well, that's what kind of a joke with the chemtrails and the cloud covers. So, but you know, the sun will come up the next day, and you know, you might feel better the next day. You got to get more sleep. You got to drink some salt water. You got to, you know, limit the amount of crap you're shoving in your body. Sugar. Sugar is another thing that people have no idea that is hurting their vibration tremendously. And so yeah, so I guess I just want to talk to you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything. And rock on, kick ass, keep going. You got this. You got this, guys. All right, later.